computing and transform seems to be very similar situation. But what transforming can do, computing, I had a discussion, I have already told every one of you. Computing means you need a previous data. For example, you have two series XYZ and you want a computation based on that series. In that case, specifically computing will work, right? What will happen? You want to transform a completely different set of data, which is at least not based on any calculation from previous variables. So, say for example, I'm having one variable. I have asked one question with the help of my questionnaire. How satisfied you are, right? And this is a Likert scale from 1 to 7, right? 1 stands for strongly disagree or satisfied. One stands for strongly dissatisfied and 7 stands for strongly satisfied. When you started analyzing, you thought using a scale of more sensitivity was not able to help you and you are not getting good results. Now you want to convert this 7 scale data, 7 scale 7-point Likert scale into a 5-point Likert scale. So what could be done for performing that? How to convert 7-point to 5 points? So probably I'll open a whiteboard instead. So point 1 means strongly disagree or strongly disagree. I'm taking it other way. Point 2 means strongly disagree. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Right? 7 means strongly agree. 6 means strongly agree. Strongly agree. Now you have 3 points as a neutral point. So this is a better way if you want to convert it into a 5-point Likert scale. Consider calculate 1 and 2 as 1, 3 as 2, 6 and 7 as 5, 5 as 4, and 4 as 3. So now you are able to convert your 7-point scale to 5-point scales. These type of calculations could be done with the help of transform option because you are transforming, and this is not based on any calculation. So wherever the data, wherever this computer or wherever the software sees 1 and 2 will be converted into 1, 3 will be converted in 2, 4 will be converted in 3, and 5 will be converted in 4, and 6 and 7 together will be converted in 5, right? I'm not asking you to follow this principle blindly. Look at your data. If you are getting large amount of data, probably in case of 5 and 6, probably merging in that situation, merging 5 and 6 into one portion and then 7 as a separate entry will be a good idea in that case. So look at your data very carefully, make a wise decision considering your data, then only you should continue with that data, how to transform. So this transforming and decoding variable, yesterday I was missing this name, recoding. So transforming and recoding acts like you want to convert one variable into another variable. That too, you do not want any calculation on that particular part. And there is a separate video how to use transforming variables and how this could be used. You want to use mean imputation, you want to use reverse codes. Sometimes you, this is the option here. Sometimes you use a negatively coded question. You just want to check whether all the participants have are filling this questionnaire carefully or not, right? In that case also you can use transformation variable. You need to select the principal, and this way you can. There is a good source. There is a good video available on this. Replacing missing values can also be done with the help of transportation. However, my take for transformation, however, my take for handling missing value is completely different. So I'll discuss that once I'll be starting on the discussion part. Right. I hope now you'll be able to understand, Mamtaji, that why we use or what are the ultimate usage of transformation function. Okay. Any further question? I have also posted this link on the chat box of Zoom, so you can make it for your reference of future, right? Yes. So I do have this concern also. Somebody is asking Dr. Poona Chandraji, Dr. Poona Pradhanji. JJ stat plot is a difficult one. Probably you need to have a good internet connection, then only you will be able to do that. But Survey MV is a smaller. Probably closing your Jamovi and then reopening your Jamovi and then reinstalling will help. Right. So should we start for the day?
Yes, sir.
Yesterday's session, like these 2 days we'll be considering as creating a base. I'm sure you are not considering this workshop, you're not considering this session as a class of statistics. So do not ask any formula of statistics or anything. Even I'm not very much comfortable using formula and a lots of things. However, we will be looking at what to do, what not to do. Jamovi or SPSS or R language or Python or whatever language, whatever software you are going to use, they are simply softwares. And when you deal with the softwares, the challenge is software will give you result of everything. Even if you ask a software, say for example, yesterday we have taken the same example. There is 20 boys in the class, and I coded one for boy, and there are 20 girls in the class, and I coded two for girls. Right? Even if you ask the software add these 1 and 2 and give me a result, the software will add them. You being a researcher, you being the user, need to understand whether adding these nominal variable, adding the values of boys and girls will be making sufficient information, something which is very insightful to you or not, right? So most of the time we generally claim, however, this is not my favorite line, but sometimes it is necessary. When you say garbage in, garbage out, right? Software, and in fact, the whole mechanism of computers, softwares, and everything works on this, right? You cannot claim you are typing something, application to your principal, an application to your supervisor, and you made a spelling mistake, or you made a paragraph mistake, or you made some other mistakes, then you cannot claim Microsoft Word that Microsoft Word has not typed well. This is you who has not typed well. Microsoft Word was facilitating you. Likewise, Jamovi, or take name of any other software of the world, they are simply helping you, assisting you for research, assisting you for doing your research. They cannot replace human. And if they could replace human, probably you are not needed in a university for pursuing your PhD or for pursuing your research work. If the software could be this much smart, software can perform everything. I'm sure a researcher is not needed at all, right? So do not expect everything neat and clean by any software. This is not only Jamovi. I'm not saying consider my request only in case of Jamovi. I'm asking you to consider this concern in any software of the world you are using, maybe for the purpose of research or maybe for any other office related assignment. Softwares are simply facilitators, not more than that. So we have already discussed this, citing Jamuru. Yesterday, I left this question towards the end because I thought there will be a huge amount of discussion, a large amount of discussion. That is why I did not wanted to discuss missing values in the towards the end. So I thought to take discussion on how to handle missing values. So according to my preference, according to my choices, the best method of handling missing data is deleting row with the missing values. This is the best method according to my opinion. But this is having you are having your own limitation in that. If you are having a data of 200 and you find there are a good number of people who have left some missing values, probably you cannot delete everything. Sometimes it has been even observed. Hello, please mute yourself. So this is the best way. However, I was looking at a data from retail outlet. There is a nearby retail outlet, Jayanand Plaza. So a few weeks before, I was sitting with them and they're asking me, sir, can you please help us in analytics? Which products are sold more? Which products are sold less? And this was the analysis. There was more than thousands of transactions in a day. But the challenge is there are good number of entries. There are good number of data which was missing from that data. So I thought to remove missing values, and I'm able to recall about 70% of the data was deleted out of the analysis. Considering only 30% data for analysis and removing 70% data on the basis like this is useless data because there is only one data entry was left into the whole row, into the whole questionnaire. So removing 70% of the data out of the 100% will not be a wise decision, right? So if you are an academic researcher, then probably the first option is the best method, deleting rows from the missing values. But if you are looking for some industry kind of analytics, if you are looking for some solution of the problem, probably these are the two methods which will help you in the better manner. Imputing missing values for continuous data, for continuous variable, the mean value is sufficient. The mean value is okay. So say, for example, you have a data, you have a series of age, and then probably replacing somebody's age by the mean of whole series could be a good or could be a wise choice. But if you are handling a categorical variable, then probably median or mode will be the best choice, right? If you can recall basics of statistics, the highest frequency of any number is called mode. So if the highest frequency is of probably male, probably replacing it by male, now it's up to you. If you think there is a lowest frequency from females, so probably replacing it by females could be a better choice. Now you need to make this decision. You being a researcher need to make this decision. The research is all about, you need to report everything, why this justification, why you have performed this particular action or this particular act, right? Those who are listening me since very long, like Dr. Purna Pradhanji, those who are listening from me since long, there is a very popular quote from a Bollywood movie, everything is fair in love and war. I have extended this quote. Everything is fair in love, war, and research, but the challenge is you need to have a good justification. Why is very, very important. If you have replaced it by the mean is okay, but why mean? If you have replaced this by median, that's okay, completely okay. There are multiple papers, there are n number of papers even, they are using continuous variable for computation and replaced or used the mode value for filling the missing data of continuous variable or the median value for filling, but they had a good justification on that. Until unless you have a good justification for replacing these variables, that cannot be considered. So this is your wise decision how you want to take it. But if it is a continuous variable, statistically to be statistically correct, if it is continuous variable, replace it by mean. If it is a categorical variable, looking at the series, looking at the data, you can replace it by median and mode. The fourth method, this first, second, third, yes. The fourth method is imputation method. If you are using some longitudinal data, if you are using some predicted values data, probably. So there are very advanced methods of using imputation method, longitudinal data, predicted value. Until and unless you are stuck into a very specific situation, I would recommend do not go with that. These last two options are not recommended at all. Right, prediction or missing value, but there is an algorithm which is named as KNN in R language. However, Jamovi does not have this. Very less number of softwares does have this, so this is less practical nowadays. But remaining four could be used anytime. You can use any software for doing this. But my suggestion and the best way of handling this situation is this is the 5-star point out of these 5, right? So this is deleting row with the missing values is the best method. However, you might be more interested in understanding how Jamovi is handling that, right? This is very unlike in comparison to other softwares. Jamovi is using a very smart way of handling missing values. And what is that smart way? So say, for example, there is one variable which is named as X and there is another variable which is named as Y. What other software is doing? So for example, you are having a data set of 200 and out of 200, the 2 values are missing. So for calculating mean of this value, mean of this series, this will be making a sum or making an average of everything, all the 200 entries, and then dividing it by 200 until unless you have made a specific arrangement for that. But how Jamovi is handling, if you are having 200 values, 200 entries, 2 values are missing. So probably this will make a sum of all the numbers into the entry and then divided by 198 because 2 values are missing, right? So Jamovi is using best method for that, and which is best recommended until and unless there is a very, very specific situation for that, right? I hope I'm able to make a clarity on this, how to handle missing values.
Excuse me, sir. Good
Yes.
evening, sir. So, as some of the experts or some of the people suggest that we can use a particular digit in place of these missing values in all. What would be the implication of that, sir?
You might have seen several videos on SPSS, and they might be asking.
No, sir. I
you
attended some workshops in that they had suggested that we can go for like this. We can insert a particular value in all the missing values.
What is
Like
that particular value? 9?
And like anything, they said like that anything like a 9, we put that at place of missing
Yes.
values in all the data. We
Most
put
of the
9.
videos, allow me a moment.
Yes,
Most
sir.
of the resource person, most of the videos on YouTube is asking, they are asking you to add 9 in place of, because your data ranges from 1 to 5. What this 9 will add, if I make, say, for example, there is a series of 1, 2, 3, and if I add 9, don't you think this will influence your mean of the series? No, this
Exactly,
will not be
sir.
able. This will not be able to influence your series because SPSS or all other softwares or throughout the world, because this 9 they ask you to denote it. This 9 is a missing value.
Yes, sir.
Right? So they do not add this 9 to the whole total, to the whole calculations. This is what their logic. But
Okay.
my concern is when this software is already offering you a better solution of this problem. So maybe one series is calculated, one series is you are getting average for out of 200 entries, and for one series you are getting average of out of 198 entries. Right? This is already you are already into a better situation. Why to go for why to make why you are making it very much complicated, imputing 9 or imputing 7 or something.
Yes, sir.
If you will not be able to designate a number with the other frequency, if you are not be able to designate a specific number with a specific function like it is a missing value, this
Yes,
will
sir.
add it to your whole series and will influence your results.
Yes, sir. They mentioned that it need to be mentioned under the missing value, that we are using it for the replacing.
If you forget to mention it under the missing
Yes,
values,
sir.
then what will happen?
Yeah, definitely result can change. Yeah.
That's right.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Any other question on missing values or anything? So let us understand what are the basic assumptions before proceeding for any analysis. Yesterday we have learned, and many of you might be thinking we have not learned implementing any test or anything, how to perform those tests and procedures. But trust me, if you do not know the basics, how this is taking place, why this is taking place, and why I need everything to be performed, then only the knowledge of how to perform this test will not help you, right? Because I have already discussed, I've already told you about Jamovi or anything is a software, and software will give you results of whatever you have clicked there. So we need to understand very wisely why I am performing this. So this is a specific case when I talk about parametric analysis. I make some, I'm having a tendency of committing spelling mistakes, so don't worry for that. Right. So what are the assumptions, basic assumptions of handling a parametric analysis or handling a procedure? Before going for, before moving for any analysis, this is what is my recommendation. Before moving for any analysis, always test your assumptions. If you do not test your assumptions, there will be a great challenge for you, because later on any reviewer or anyone who can look at this data and can tell you this is a completely misleading data analysis and they should not be performed, right? So the first assumption is your dependent variable should be measured at interval or ratio. If you can recall, yesterday we had a discussion. There is three types of data: nominal, ordinal, and scale data. So when you are specifically talking about relationship-based data, your dependent variable must be a scale data or ordinal data. Sorry. Yes. Your dependent variable must be a scale data or an ordinal data. If your dependent variable is a nominal variable, sorry, you are not allowed to perform parametric analysis. So say, for example, you are trying to identify the relationship between age and job satisfaction is okay, but the job satisfaction must be dependent variable. If you are trying to identify, sorry, age or job satisfaction, both can be dependent or independent variable, right? But if you're trying to identify a relationship between gender and job satisfaction must be a dependent variable. Gender can never be a dependent variable, because gender can predict your job satisfaction, whereas job satisfaction cannot predict your gender. If you're highly satisfied, you should belong to the male category. If you are lesser satisfied or any specific situation, you should belong to female category. This cannot be performed. This cannot be done. So this is a basic assumption, the first assumption of data. If you are trying to establish relationship between two variables or any number of variables, the dependent variable must be measured on nominal scale or ordinal scale. If your dependent variable is calculated based on, I'm sorry, this one is a continuous scale and this one is a ordinal. If your dependent variable is measured on nominal scale, parametric analysis is not allowed for this particular data set. Then we talk about normality. This is very, very important to be understood. What do I mean normal distribution? As I have already indicated, this is not a class of statistics, but I'll have to discuss a little bit about the statistical analysis. So if you have attended even a basic class of statistics, your teacher, your professor must have told you, whenever they saw about, or sorry, whenever they talk about normal they talk about perfect bell-shaped curve. What is the logic of this normal distribution? Probably many of you are not able to understand what is the logic behind this perfect bell-shaped curve. So say, for example, I'm measuring the heights of students in one class. there might be good number of students of higher heights, probably 6 feet or 6 feet 2 inches. There might be good number of students who are having lesser heights like 4 feet 8 inches, 4 feet 9 inches. But the majority of the class, the height of majority of the class will be 5'6", 5'8", 5'4", 5'5", and that's it. Right? So that is why this peak here indicates the majority of the class, whereas this blue. This blue extreme says the students of 6 feet or more than 6 feet are less in number. However, because of the statistics, we assume this could go parallel up to x-axis, but will never intersect x-axis because there are chances of getting even some people from 7 feet or maybe 8 feet. You can deny a tendency that there will be no people of more than 10 feet, but statistics does not deny any such tendency. Statistics say there is a chance, right? Statistics say there is a fair chance of so. And this extreme is about height of the number of students with the lesser heights. So again, statistics say there could be some students, there could be some participants, there could be some observants of this data which could have lesser height. Again, this could be parallel up to any extreme, but will never intersect x-axis. So this is what is an assumption of, normal distribution. What will happen if your distribution is not normally distributed? If your data is not normally distributed, say for example, you have measured the height of students who are already involved in sports, those who are already playing, like if you're trying to measure height of volleyball players, so probably you'll find this type of data tendency there because majority of the students belongs to higher heights. Or if the students belongs to the basketball game, so probably majority of the students should be from the higher height scale. So what does statistics say? Before performing any parametric analysis, you need to check whether your data is normally distributed or not. If your data is not normally distributed, parametric analysis is not meant for you. Then third assumption is there should be no significance outlier. And how to measure the number of outliers, we'll discuss after a few minutes. We'll be discussing about how to identify the number of outliers. However, again, you can see very clearly the statistics is saying there should be no significant outliers. What does this mean? There is a chances of outlier. Every outlier need not to be removed. Every outlier need not to be removed, but say what will happen if there are 10% or more than 20% participants are outliers? How you will handle that situation, right? Because society is full of outliers, full of liars. You might be able to recall that advertisement from TVS. The street is full of idiots, right? So outliers are always possible, but the significant outlier should not be there. 1, 2, or maybe 3 number of outliers could be anywhere, and society is full of outliers, right? So you cannot deny this tendency like there is no outlier in the data. Okay, if by default there is 1 or 2 outliers, that's okay for you. But if by default there are large number of outliers, you need to remove, you need to clean that data. I will also discuss how to clean the data. Then we say homogeneity of variance. The data from multiple groups have the same variance. Homogeneity of variance will be checked by Darwin-Watson analysis when you will be performing regression analysis. So homogeneity is very important when you are specifically trying to look for any relationship or any association kind of a situation. Then homogeneity will play a very important role. However, today we will not be discussing more about Darwin-Watson and homogeneity or these type of things. And then linearity, this one is also specifically related relationship. And then finally, the independence, the data measurement should have been done independently. There is no dependence. There should be no dependence in terms of data. If there is a dependence in terms of data, there is no free measurement. And if there is no free measurement, this is not a correct situation. Bharat Taneja ji is asking, sir, normal distribution is applicable in experimental based studies. In experimental studies, you need more normal distribution. Even the questionnaire based studies need lesser normal distribution. I'll discuss this and I'll solve all those query on normal distribution because this is a large phenomenon. Yes, Arti ji has posted a very important, very curiosity question. How to check normality of Likert scale data? Correct. We'll do that. Don't worry. I've already shared a data set, and the data set will help you. Okay. So today our target to explore is about descriptive statistics, histogram, density plots, box plots, violin plots, dot plots, and these are the number of plots we'll be looking for. And the second part of exploration will be normality of the data set. So don't worry, we'll be exploring a lot of things. So let us start with the descriptive statistics. Right. So is there any important or significant discussion if you're expecting right now? Anything, any important question which you think is important?
Good evening, sir.
Yes.
So I have just one small query about missing data. Missing data, like suppose I am having a sales data, sir. I'm just posting the information in the chat box. So can you just see that if I have sales data for January 150, February 210, so only June missing data is there. So can I take mean of May and July divided by 2? Will it be correct, sir?
That's a different situation. Instead of taking it mean, perform some predictive analysis using Excel or some other formula, or maybe exponential formula will help you in calculating what should be forecasting type of analysis could be done. If you can see this slide, we are talking about this one. If you are having these type of data, you should consider longitudinal data for prediction values. So perform a trend analysis, calculate data, impute data based on this in the specific situation which you are talking about. Right? Replacing it by mean will not be wise enough. Right? Because only replacing it by mean of only 2 months will not be correct. Replacing it by mean of 6 months will be 100% incorrect. Right? So in that situation, use some trend analysis, use some forecasting method in MS Excel, impute your data based on that. So maybe you can perform a trend analysis from January to May, and whatever is the trend projection is asking you, place that data.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir.
Mamta ji is asking, sir, please quote some examples of parametric and non-parametric. That's very difficult because the whole statistics is based on these two terms, parametric and non-parametric. I'm sure after about spending these 4 days next, including today, you will be able to understand what do I mean by parametric and non-parametric.
Okay,
Commenting it on right now will not be a good idea.
actually, it's this one is clear, but most of the time we get confused. That's why. Yeah.
So I have imported the data. I was just before the class, I was doing something. Remove it. So just about 10-15 minutes before to this class, I have already shared a data with you. So you need to make these corrections along with me. These are the scaled data. Because this is an Excel sheet. If this could have been an SPSS sheet, probably the software has not misleaded me. This is the data. This is a questionnaire. Yesterday, I was showing you a questionnaire of one of my friend George from Greece. So yesterday I was having this data set about 500, more than 5. This data set was actually of 500. So I've removed some data and created some misleading examples and how to correct those information into this data. And now this data is somewhere about 180 or something, right? So we'll be using this data throughout our discussion. As and when it is needed, we'll use this. I'm converting all the data from this. There are about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions into the questionnaire. The ultimate objective of this questionnaire is to check the revisit intentions of tourists to a place like Crete, place like Crete, not Crete, place like Crete, and that too based on a specific intention of food. So how the local food is influencing their intentions to revisit or to recommend this. For gender, it is nominal. Nationality, it is nominal. Annual income, okay. And for everything, it is nominal. Right. So everything is set for data analysis. Now, let us start from the beginning, how to talk about descriptive analysis. Right. I'm sure you'll be able to see my screen of Jamovi.
Sir, shall you give us 2-3 minutes to change the variables?
Yes, even
Yes, sir.
while I was doing something or while I was discussing something. Okay, I was fast enough, I understand.
Just give 2-3 minutes.
Yes, yes, please, please. If you have already imported scatter plots, survey plots, or descriptives, descriptive need not to be installed or need not to be imported as library. These are the 3 options which we'll be working first in next about 20 to 30 minutes, right? So
Sir, now you can start.
ready? Right. So first I'll be using a descriptive option under exploration.
So if possible, just give 1 minute more just to insert these variables, because otherwise it get confused now if we can't go parallel.
Even if you have done hard work, half of the work, then this will be okay.
Okay, fine, sir. Thank you.
Otherwise, this will be wastage of time of others.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So first I'll click on exploration, and then we'll click on descriptive. Right. The moment I'll click on descriptives, this will show me analysis panel, which variable I want to look at the descriptive. So I need to simply select these 3, 4, 5 variables. These I'm selecting these first 3 variables and shifting them here to the variables. And on the right hand side, you can see this is a sample size of 188. Missing values are 0. Mean is 4.65, 4.35. Median is this. Standard deviation is this. Minimum value is 1 and maximum value is 5. The moment I'll click on frequency tables, The moment I click on frequency tables and how these frequency tables changes with the different scenarios, I would simply change this testy fresh in terms of ordinal data. Right? So for scale data, it does not calculate frequency. For a scale data, only descriptives are enough. But if there is a data which is ordinal data, or if there is a data which is nominal data, this will be, you will be able to see some of the frequency. So frequency 1. And why this is doing so, if you can recall, scale data does not have labels in Jamovi, whereas ordinal data does have labels in Jamovi, right? So these, out of these 3 items of the test, this is the value and everything. After clicking on frequency table, you can see how many frequency of 1, how many frequency of 2, how many frequency of 3, their percentage of total, cumulative, and everything, right? I will select on this, I'll click on this arrow. And now I will click on some important things. So median in this case is not important for me. I'll click on this and you can see the median is now disappeared out of this analysis. When there is 0 items as missing value, this need not to be included into the analysis. If you want to see the variance of the data, how the data is varying throughout the series. If you want to the range of data, probably you can see the range of data is 4. So 4 different options have been selected. Interquartile range will be 1. Okay, in these 2 cases, it is 1 and interquartile range is 0 in this case. Standard error, mean of a standard error, now everything is calculated on your fingertips, right? Even somebody was
Excuse me,
asking,
sir.
yes, please.
Sir, frequency table is not showing. I'm just making on the tick button, but it's not showing the frequency table.
Do you have ordinal data in this panel?
No continuous data.
Scale data,
Yes, scale.
right?
Okay.
If you do not have any ordinal data, this will not calculate the frequencies because in Jamovi, there is no labels in continuous scale.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
So I will give it back because actually this should not be an ordinal data, or even if you can convert all the data as nominal, as ordinal data, because while performing the analysis, I'm 100% sure there will be no difference in results if you are considering a data from continuous scale to ordinal scale, right? But the only challenge, the only difference will be if you are having some ordinal data, you will be able to see frequencies table, which are very less of time used in any analysis, right? So it is always wise, do not play with the different type of analysis, the different type of data, the data which should be scale data should be scale data, right? Yes, if it is primary interrogation of the data, you should convert this data into the ordinal data so that you can see what is the properties of the data. And everything. There are 2 questions. How, sir, Artiji is asking, sir, how you select the variables simultaneously? Okay, that's simply control and shift. If you are selecting this and then pressing control and you can select this or anything, right? If you are pressing this and pressing shift, and when you click on this variable, all the variables in between of this will be selected, right? Now I want to see how these 3 variables tasty, fresh, and quality, right? Now I want to see how these variables are split based on any specific category. So say, for example, I would split this with the help of gender. So now you can see there are the sample size from females are 133, sample size from males are 55. The means from female is 4.64 and mean from male is 4.67. All this analysis, you'll get different tables in other softwares, and then computing different tables will be challenging thing. Even minimum and maximum is also not reported in any analysis. Most of the time, n, which is sample size, missing value, is used before the analysis so that you can see if there is a missing value, anything, if it is missing, you can complete, you can fill that data. But during the analysis, missing values are not reported. Mean is reported always, but the mean is reported with the help of a standard deviation. Without a standard deviation, mean is incomplete. So if you are calculating mean without the help of, or if you are not selected a standard deviation, which is incomplete form of data, so always select mean with the help of descriptive itself. I'm deselecting this gender, and instead of here, I'm putting this gender here. Now you can see even all other variables are continuous scale, and only for the frequency table has been created only for gender, right? So if you want to create a specific table on all your categorical variables, this is a better situation in that case. You can deselect everything. You don't need mean, you don't need a standard deviation, you don't need anything. And this first table will disappear. The descriptive table will disappear. Only the frequencies. This is the frequency for male and female. These are the frequencies from different countries. These are the frequencies of different age groups. These are the frequencies of different income groups, right? So, I'm sorry. So this is up to you, which data you want to use for a specific purposes. What is your purpose of selecting why you want to consider this data for analysis? This is a task, or this is an assignment of researcher, not the software, not the system. I would again select these three situations. And instead of statistics, because I've deselected everything in terms of statistics, the second option will be plots, right? What is the meaning of this grouping? Let me tell you. Histograms are in one group. Box plots are in one group. What does it mean? When I create histogram and density plots, both will be created together on one, the result will be in one diagram. The result will be in one figure, right? The result will be in one figure only. When I'll click on box plot, the result will be in different figure. So box plot, violin plot, and data plot will appear in one particular figure. This is the meaning of different grouping in Jamovi. Right. I want to select a histogram based on okay, so probably histogram. My software is not working. Allow me a second. Probably there is a situation of hang. However, yeah, able to solve it. Yes. So when I click on histogram, you can see these are the three data: taste, quality, taste, fresh, taste. The food is tasty. If I click on simultaneously, if I click on density plot, you'll be able to see them together, right? Even if I select gender here, because gender is a nominal variable, right? So gender could be used for classification purpose. So I can shift gender here. And now you will be able to see now you can see a histogram along with a density plot of females and males in a different set. If I uncheck histogram, the only beautiful density plot will be reported, right? But these beautiful plots will be reported only in case of you have something to classify the data, something to differentiate the data. If I remove this gender, and only these three data need to be, one is preparing a density plot, so right. Now you'll see the beauty of this chart is missing, right? So if you do not have anything to classify, the chart will be very simple, but if you have something to classify, the chart will be a beautiful plot, the present situation of the data. And looking at this data, you can very easily understand which type of data it is, right? If I'll take you to this skewness and kurtosis. So when you find this type of data plot, this is what our result in present scenario. This is negatively skewed data. What do I mean by negatively skewed data? Most of the data is from higher side of the data. Means higher range of the data is in most frequency, which is completely not good situation of skewness. If my data is, if my peak is on the left hand side, LHS, my data is positively skewed, so probably less, the frequencies with the small number are high, and but the perfect bell-shaped curve could be created like this way. Zero skewness, right? Somebody was asking what should be the standard value of skewness and kurtosis, right? If your data is having minus 0.5 to 0.5, that your data is fairly symmetrical and you can use this data for parametric analysis. If your skewness is having this many variations, your data is moderately skewed and you can still perform parametric analysis, but not recommended with a smaller sample size. And if your data is skewed from this one to this one, your data is highly skewed, and probably performing parametric analysis will not be a good idea here, right? This one is the second part of analysis, which is kurtosis. Kurtosis is platykurtic. When you find the higher bumps on this way, I'll just change the color. When you see higher bumps on this axis on this part of the graph, this is known as platykurtic. When the kurtosis is less than 3, when you find your peak is a bit narrowed, this is known as peak chart and leptokurtic chart. When your kurtosis is more than 3, and the perfect bell-shaped curve is known as mesokurtic data, and mesokurtic data is having kurtosis as equals to 3. And can you help me in understanding which type of data it is? Positively skewed or negatively skewed?
So negatively.
Negatively skewed. Is it good enough to good enough for analysis purpose?
No, sir.
No. Right. If I move to the statistics part, and if I click on Shapiro-Wilks, not Shapiro-Wilks, if I click on skewness and kurtosis, a separate table will be created on this. You can see skewness. I can remove this classification by gender, but you can see the skewness of males and females data. Everything is skewness is less than 1, -1, and greater than 1. Your data is highly skewed. Now, can you help me in understanding which type of data we have? Look at this data carefully.
Negatively skewed.
Negatively skewed, but highly skewed. So probably this data is not suitable for parametric analysis. Right? Are you able to get this idea?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So, sir, whatever data, if it is highly skewed, either positive or negative, it will not be for parametric. Is it?
No, you should not go for parametric analysis. Correct.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Could we convert data to suitable for parametrics?
You can convert that, but for that you need very high skills. Right?
Okay, okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, I have a question regarding this descriptive.
Mhm.
So when I'm copying these items, I mean, I'm just looking out the descriptive section. The
Mhm.
portion in your screen, it's showing the names like taste, variety, price, reasonable. But on my end, it's showing like A, B, C, D, E. Why is it so?
Probably you have clicked on import data, not on open data.
Import data. I mean, I've just copied it from the Excel sheet.
If you have copied from Excel sheet, then
Hmm.
these are the names of variables which has been given into the Excel sheet.
That's
Right?
that's showing there in the data.
If you
But
have
in the
copied this
analysis
data,
section, it is, hmm.
listen it carefully. If you have copied the data, this software will not be able to understand the names of variable because this taste and everything have been given to this Excel sheet. Right? If you have simply copied this data, then for software, this is data. The software will not be able to differentiate between these numbers and this text.
Okay.
Right? This is the
So what
difference.
is to be done?
You have to simply click on open data. Go click on these three dots, go to
Okay.
open, and then click on open data.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Right? So this was about descriptives of the different points of the data. And then next category of plots. You want to identify the outliers in the data. So probably clicking on box plot will help you. Now let us see which type of box plots we have. Completely misleading data of box plots we have. Completely misleading data of box plot. If I click on violin plot, there is not much difference in box plot and violin plot, but violin plot is probably a better visualization of box plot. Most of the softwares name it box plot, but this actual name of this statistical procedure is box and whisker plots. Let me open a different data of this library. If you can recall, this data is available with everyone, Big Five. Right? I'll simply go to exploration, descriptives. I will remove everything from statistics so that this table will disappear. I will click only in terms of plots. Now you can see the better histograms. Right? This could be the good example of bell shape, but this is not exactly bell shape. However, is good enough. The second data is of extraversion, a kind of bell shape, but still negatively skewed. Openness is which type of plot? Can you help me? This platykurtic plot. Agreeableness, conscientiousness, a different kind of pattern, a different kind of situations you can observe it. When I talk about density plots on the same things, and you can see whether your data is having normal bell-shaped curve or not. This one is a mesokurtic plot. This one is a platykurtic plot. Again, mesokurtic, and this could be called as perfect. If I remove the histograms, probably you can see a better bell shape.
Sir, can we change the color of the plots or it is fixed
No.
and it will be set by the software only?
This is set by the software, but yes, you have some liberties. If you can see this top three dots, click on these three dots, and this is a color palette by JMV. You can select is, say for example, a darker theme. However, you cannot select a specific color of your choice. That's a limitation. If you love SPSS, so you can select a theme like I love SPSS, and then plot theme is also I love SPSS. Now your results will be very similar to SPSS, very, very similar to SPSS. Till I can see some of the question. Okay. Dr. Ivana, Professor Ivana, yes, we can add the description about a variable. When you are writing the name of that variable, then you can add the immediately below to that cell, you can add the name of add the complete question of the variable and then description of the variable also. This might be taking. Yes. So now your results are very similar to SPSS. If you click histograms, you will get completely as it is charts you can make with the help of SPSS. If you are habitual of using SPSS, you need to simply change your themes and you'll get the results according to SPSS. You need to select this plots, the plot theme and color palette, everything should be like SPSS. There is a complete different choices, blue, greens, grays. However, my particular theme of interest is JMB by default, because JMB is having a lots of blue color, which is my favorite. Right. Right. So this is how you can customize these palettes.
So one very silly question, if I may.
No question is silly question. Please go ahead.
Sir, actually, till today, I have not been able to understand the fact why, as a researcher, we should have a normal, like we always like to fit data into a normal curve. But reality, it's the numbers, they speak something very different. They are usually skewed. So why do we actually want our data to form into a normal?
Yesterday night, I was listening one story on FM.
Yes, sir.
And this story is probably answer of your question. So there was a very good family, a young, recently married couple. They are enjoying together. They were very happily, I should say, they're enjoying every moment of the life. After about 2-3 years, they have got one kid. After about again 2-3 years, they have got their second kid. After about 10 years, that lady has started transforming. Every time when the husband along with the family is taking everyone out and the husband along with the children is taking ice cream, and husband asked to his wife, which flavor of ice cream do you wish? And wife responds like, no, I don't eat ice creams. Ice cream does not suit me, and everything. When they are out on a pizza party, so wife says, oh, whatever flavor you like, I'll respond in that way. When they are out for shopping, so husband makes shopping, 2 kids make shopping, but the wife is always again responding, no, I don't need clothes, I have everything, I don't go out much, I don't need a variety of clothes. One very fine night, the husband wanted to discuss something with his wife, and he asked his wife, I know you love ice cream very much, I know you want to do shopping, I also know you want to have pizza party. But the challenge is, you know my financial situation, and that is why you are responding me like you don't like ice cream, like you don't do that. Likewise, you have all the members in the family when a mother asks in the evening, what do you want to have? And all of us says, whatever you wish to cook, you can cook. But only this is the heart of mother only who knows my kids, my children do not want to eat simple dal roti or anything which is very simple, right? Everything we are full of liars. That is 100% correct. But we need to normally distribute this all data. If we do not get a normally distributed data, so when I'm lying, when my wife is lying, when my children are also lying, everyone is lying. Probably you won't get anything. Your product design will be misleading. I might like blue color, but because my wife like green color and I purchase everything in green color, my wife likes some other color, and because she thinks everything will be. So if you are designing a product based on my initiative, probably you'll design everything which is of green color, right? So you need to have a normally distributed data. You need to normalize everything. If you do not normalize it, probably uh, there are some foreign participants, probably they won't be able to understand the importance of FUFA in a marriage.
Yes.
So the FUFA is always an outlier. He does expects lots of things which are not generally expected, right? So probably I think you will be able to understand why we need everything should be normal.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Dr. Ivana is again asking, I mean explanation of one. Yes, you can add that too. I'll show you how you can add that. So probably I had some other intentions to remove this source. Right. So I will simply remove this histograms density plot. I'll create a box plot. And now you can see with the help of box, with the help of whisker, you can see there are two outliers which are continuously responding in terms of 4 and 5. Unlike SPSS, this does not give you the value, which number of outlier this is. So probably you need to seek which person is outlying in that case. And probably I'll take few other things, all other variables into this situation. Right. And there are good number of outliers in these variables. When I create a violin plot on that, a good surrounding of that box and whisker plot will be created, and you will be able to see a shape of violin. Right? Sometimes it is different, sometimes it is different, and a perfect shape of violin indicate the perfect shape of data, which is not the case of the situation. Right? If I could add some descriptive data to this, some classificational data to this analysis, probably that could be a better situation. So Anderson Iris does have some categorical data or not? Yes, does have some categorical data. So I'll be again clicking on the exploration and then description. I will remove everything from statistics because I do not want anything from there. So maybe one variable is this and a species is a second variable, and I want to create a box plot on this. See, if I remove a species from this part, you can see sepal length complete data only one way. But if I add sepal here, add a species here, so there are three types of species, there are three types of situation, and one Virginica is having one outlier. Right? If I add violin to this plot, you can see there are three different types of violin. Even if I add data here, you will be able to observe some data is cluttered here and there to this analysis and what is the exact shape of the data. If I click from jittered to stacked one, you'll be able to recall a plot which is known as a stem and leaf plot. Now, if I remove box plot, a violin with the stacked data, you'll get stem and leaf kind of a situation, and this stem and leaf will be able to you'll be able to understand the values of 1 is highest or values of 3 is highest, or which type of values are higher in this situation. If you click on even mean, we'll get this is the main point, because when you click on box plot, what is this middle line in the box plot is median. The middle line in the box plot is not mean. You can see this point is having exact, this first Setosa is having mean and median exactly, whereas Virginica is having mean is quite higher than the median one, right? So that this is how this, we need to understand how good data we have for analysis. If we do not have good data, probably moving ahead will not be a good idea. Right now I'm clicking on bar plot. And now you can see different situations. If I remove species from this way, so this is a complete bar plot with a smaller version of the deviation. These are the different variations. These are the different situations, conditions, which could be performed with the help of, this is data 1, big 5 personality data. I'm removing this. Oh, I have already opened 3 big 5 data. That is why this is giving some error to me. Right? I hope you will be able to understand. Now you have got a good idea about everything. Whatever we have discussed. We have discussed here, not today. We'll have to discuss a lot of things. Okay, there is a question. Yeah.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, how do we identify that which one respondent is coming under this outlier? Because number is not mentioned over there.
Yeah,
How do we identify?
number is not mentioned. So for that, you need to click on, you need to see if you can recall this filtered data. Which data is having continuous 5 situations, or which data is having these kind of situations. So for that, you need to use filter data, because unlike other softwares, this does not give you the respondent number. So probably scanning with this will help. There is another way which could be used in MS Excel, and which is general, without any statistics, without anything. You can understand, you can look at this, which data should be used and which data is having. So say, for example, I will simply delete some of the data. Random data I'll delete. I think my screen of Excel is visible to everyone.
Yes, sir, visible.
I have deleted this data from the Excel sheet. And now I want to check whether is there some missing values, or is there some outliers on this data. So what could be done? Towards the bottom, I'll simply zoom in the screen. I'll simply write a formula here, which is count blank. Open the bracket, complete data, close the bracket, and enter. Okay, I have to give it a cell number. So from A2 is complete column. This formula is also part of that column. That is why it is not taking that. A2 to 189. Simply click on enter, and you can see one variable is missing here. Sorry, I've simply dragged this option, and you can see this variable is having 1 item is missing. Then this variable is having 2 items is missing. This variable is having another 1 item is missing. So this is a method how you can identify the missing values in Excel. Another way of how to calculate, I will do everything like how to identify the outlier. Another method of doing that is, one is equals to standard deviation, positional standard deviation. Open the bracket, A2 to W2. Close this bracket. No, I'm writing this formula at wrong place actually. This is not A2 cell. That is why this is not highlighted. Equals to A2 to W2. Bracket close. Drag this formula. Select the whole sheet, or maybe select this particular item itself. Arrange the data custom short. column X, smallest to largest. Okay. Now, smallest standard deviation means very less amount of frequency, very less amount of changes. I'll simply highlight this column, and you can see this 4, 4, 5, 5, 5, 5, and continuously 5, 5, 5, 5 is there. 4, 4. Very less amount of variation is there. So probably this user is not responding anything which is useful for me. So those who are having a standard deviation less than 0.5, or in fact, standard deviation, a good amount of data starts from this point. More than 0.5, more than 0.6 itself. This, right? From this amount, from this point, you can see this 4, 5, 3, 4, 5. About 40 or 50 size of data should be removed because they are considered as outlier, right? So that could be performed using Excel. So let us discuss a small part about, yes, you might be thinking, did I left something? Yes, I left something. Shapiro-Wilks, what should be the standard value of Shapiro-Wilks? We had a discussion on this, but probably I'm having something which is interesting to every one of you. This data I have taken from a research paper, and that research paper says the challenges of the skewness and the kurtosis. You can see the higher problem of skewness are possible with the sample size when you have sample size up to 750. So any sample size, any data which is having sample size more than 750, probably skewness need not to be checked. Probably skewness is not the correct answer. Skewness is not the correct method of measuring normality of the data. Any sample, any data which is having sample size more than 250, probably kurtosis will be very, very normal for them. So measuring, if your sample size is more than 250, measuring with the help of kurtosis will not be the correct decision. If your sample size is more than 750, measuring the normality of the data with the help of skewness is not the correct decision, right? So if your sample size is larger than this, you need not to worry. Okay. Then these were about histograms. We already had a discussion how histograms. So your data is symmetrical unimodal, is this kind of bell-shaped curve. Skewed left is negatively skewed data. Skewed right is positively skewed data. This data is completely useless. This data is having binomial model, bimodal. So probably one curve is this way. So probably two models are available in this data. Proceeding for parametric analysis will not be a good idea. This data is having multi-model. So if your histogram is of this shape, completely workable. These shapes of histograms are also workable after few set of imputation, few round of correctness. But if your data belongs to these situations, completely no for any further analysis, completely no. So probably these three shapes of histograms could be the better situation. Then it is about density plot, which is again very similar. This one is bimodal. Your data is having two models. Your data is having multiple models. Your data is having one model as full model and another model as a partial model. This is a complete normal data. You need not to look for bell shape every time. Skewed data is not workable. Uniform data, so probably everyone is of same height. Everyone is of same data. Working on this plot will not be the, again, good idea. Box and whisker plots. These sticks are known as whiskers, right? These are known as outliers, single data point. This is known as box, and out of this box, this particular line is known as median. This is the lower percentile, 25th percentile of the data, and this part is upper percentile, 75th percent of the data. So honestly, this chart is being divided in 4 different sections. Section 1 is about top 75 data. This section 4 is about lower 25 data. Then middle 25, which is second 25. third 25, and this one is fourth 25. So this way percentile of the data. So this should be the perfect shape of the box and whisker. Even if your median can move a minor upper side or lower side. Likewise, I have given you a data. The data is having a different kind of box and whisker plots, and which is completely not considerable for any analysis. Violin plots in comparison to box and whisker. Yes, somebody is having a question. So this is the perfect shape of a violin curve. If your violin plot does not looks like this, probably you need to do some imputation or you need to make superfine your data. These are some more examples of violin data, different types of violin, what they will be called as. Even violin could be called as bean plot, right? So what are the different situations, different conditions of the data? Dot plot. This is a simply horizontal dot plot. We have discussed a vertical dot plot. We'll come back later on normality. Don't worry, Gana Subramanian ji. I'll share all the slides. I'll share all the data. Whatever stuff I'm sharing, whatever stuff I'm showing, I'll share everything. Don't worry for that. Right. So any question up to this point?
Sir, if you get the time, can you please explain through that filter process, that how do we go for that box plot?
Probably you can look at the yesterday's video. That will help you.
Okay. Okay, in that you had shown that how we can
Yes,
go
yes.
for box.
Yesterday we had a discussion. Yesterday we had a detailed discussion how to use filter function. Okay, no further question. Right. So our next discussion is about normality of the data. There is a very good method of checking the normality of the data. Say, for example, I'll remove gender from this, and whether the taste, everything has got normal distribution of the data. Like visual inspection is okay, violin plot is okay, everything is okay. But I want to have some statistical value to measure whether this data is normally distributed or not. So I'll click on under the plot of under the option of normality, you can click on Shapiro-Wilks, right? Is there a problem? I will redo this. Again, go with the exploration, descriptives, and Shapiro-Wilks of this data. So you can see here, again, I'll be removing N, missing, median, mean, standard deviation, minimum, maximum. Everything is removed out of the analysis. Okay. In case of removing everything, it is not even calculating. Okay. So it completely removed that table. Okay. So with the help of N, simultaneously with the help of N, I can get Shapiro-Wilks value. So the value of Shapiro-Wilks is 0.514. This is the value of Shapiro-Wilks, and every test is significant, which is less than 0.001. And what do I mean by when I calculate what is the standard threshold value of Shapiro-Wilks? The normal. There are two different assumptions. There are two different situations. What are those situations? The value of Shapiro-Wilk W is greater than 0.5, or if you are having some data as negatively valued data. So significance values should always be not significant. Then only you can consider your data is normally distributed. So if the Shapiro-Wilk p-value is greater than 0.05, is greater than 0.05, this is the greater than 0.05. Actually, this should be p-value of Shapiro-Wilks should be greater than 0.05. The data is normal. And this value is less than 0.05. What does it indicate? This data is not normal. Let me do it with the same analysis with other form of data. Shapiro-Wilks along with N. Let us see whether this data is normal. No, even this data is not normal, but openness is normal. Neuroticism is normal. Conscientiousness is normal, whereas two variables are not normal. So neuroticism is normal, whereas C, extraversion is not normal. There are significant number of outliers. Extraversion is not normal according to Shapiro-Wilks. Openness is normal. Agreeableness is not normal. And you can verify agreeableness is also not normal. So anytime when you see the Shapiro-Wilks, the value of Shapiro-Wilks is higher than 0.5, the value of Shapiro-Wilks is higher than 0.5, what does it indicate? It indicates Purnachandji, after the data collection, does it need to mention the curves in methodology? No. Every curve need not to be reported in methodology because this is for your visual inspection so that you can easily understand it. But Shapiro-Wilks value will definitely need to be reported. Shapiro-Wilks value, this table need definitely be need to be reported. This will help reviewers of the paper or evaluators of the thesis, like this data was normally distributed. Yes, if you are fond of visual inspection and everything, you can create a small plots of this analysis, and then maybe one sheet will be enough to distribute, or maybe 2-3 sheets, or not more than 4-5 pages in any case. Sarah is asking, data is normal if the value is greater than the value, p-value is greater than 0.05. P-value, not the Shapiro-Wilks W. Right? P-value should be greater than 0.05, then it could be considered as data is normal. There is another measure, there is another method of measuring normality of the data, which is QQ plot. If you can recall, if you can recall this, there is a assumption, right? The data from multiple groups have the same variance, and the data must have the linear relationship, homogeneity of variance, and data must have linear relationship. So what is the QQ plot? QQ plot is a quantile plot, which helps you in understanding there is a line and all your variables, all your data points are on a single point or not. So this is a perfect example of a normal QQ plot. Let us evaluate. Do we have normal QQ plot with our data? So in case of plot, you need to simply click on QQ plot. Quantile data. And let us see whether our data is normally distributed or not. Yes, this plot is showing your data is normally distributed. This plot is showing that your data is slightly deviating, but is workable enough. Is okay in this case. Is again, your data is having different data points, and 100% okay with this data. Let us check with the data which I have supplied for your reference, and let us see whether what QQ plot is saying. Visual inspection is saying the data is not usable for parametric analysis. See, this is the graph. This is a figure of visual data. And this is completely, this cannot be used anyway for any parametric analysis, for any situation, right? You can see this. No data could be used for further analysis. Dr. Soni is asking, sir, I had one doubt. How do we validate the data? Can we do the data validation through the software? Data validation is needed. You might be using SPSS, you might be using R, you might be using Smart PLS, you might be using AMOS, whatever type of software you are using. Data validation is needed, but actually this is not data validation. This is reporting your data is normally distributed or not. This is simply reporting, not actually, this is not called as data validation. Right, so these are the different visual inspections of reliability and normality, right? Yeah. Can you allow me a small break, not more than 2-3 minutes?
Yes,
I'll
sir.
just visit by nearby facility and we'll come.
Yes, sir.
Further question, whatever we have discussed yet. And now I'm going to tell you very, very interesting part of this whole discussion. Should I proceed ahead?
Yes, sir, sure.
So there is another library. If you can recall, in the daytime, I have asked you to install, which is this one, StatCat, right? What this StatCat perform? You want to establish something, you want to perform a test, you are having a specific type of data, and you are not able to understand, you are not able to make a decision, which type of analysis should I perform? I should perform a correlation, or should I perform the regression? Which type of analysis I should perform on this analysis? This is not 100% accurate. This is what I have quoted into the beginning of the session. Machine cannot replace human, so your intelligence is perfectly needed. But if you want to take a second opinion, for which analysis your data is suitable, and so this StatCat can help you in understanding which kind of analysis, which specific test will help you in performing your analysis. Right? So you have StatCat with you. Click on StatCat, and now you want to understand which type of analysis. So you have single variable, or you have relationship prediction and group comparison, or you have repeated measures. So let us click on single variable. Right? And now this is giving us a message. This tool will help you in find an appropriate statistical method given the measurement level of the data. Make sure you have correctly defined the measurement level of your variable of the data. You can change the measurement level of the data via the setup button, right? To get started, drop a variable. This is suggesting us this is what could be done, and there is a specific note too. Our advice is based on measurement level of your data. There can be details related to your data, task, or different assignments. So probably it is not necessary all the time. Your opinion, the opinion of a StatCat will be same as your, right? So just for example, if I select this is a continuous data, and this is telling me this is a single variable. This is what is a property of the data, and this is telling me you have entered a numerical variable. Hence, one sample t-test of the population mean may be good option for you. In order to run this test, which options you'll have to perform? So go to t-test and one sample t-test. So t-test and one sample t-test, and there you need to put your data, right? So this was first thing. If I remove this and I post something which is of categorical variable, now this is again telling me this is a single variable. You have entered a dichotomous variable. Hence, binomial test of the population proportion of success may be good option for you. And where is this binomial option in Jamovi? Is frequency, 2 outcomes, binomial test. Frequency, 2 outcomes, binomial test, right? Drop your dichotomous variable in the white box to the right fill and every procedure, the complete procedure, how to perform the test is written here. If I use nationality, there are multiple variables, right? There are multiple countries in this nationality, the same thing, but you have entered a variable of nominal measurement level. Hence, goodness of fit test may be good option. You can use chi-square test, whether this data is of goodness of fit or not, and where to put what, everything is written here. So this is about suggestion based on single variable input. So if you're having single variable, you can use a StatCat and can identify which type of analysis is needed. But if you have two variables, this one, right? Welcome to StatCat. These are what you need to read this paragraph very, very carefully. Then only you will be able to do a good job. Otherwise, this is a software, this will give you something, right? So for example, taste is a dependent variable. Price is an independent variable. And gender is a control variable, right? Now what it is suggesting, you need to perform regression, and where regression is available, regression under linear regression. If I remove gender from control variable, you need to perform regression with the help of correlation matrix itself. And this will be sufficient. If you perform, if I will add along with the price, if I'll add one serving values also, again you can perform linear regression. These are the two variables. And if I add gender to this section, linear regression with these options. If I, instead of gender, if I add nationality here, drop dependent, where to drop dependent variable, where to drop which type of variable, and this will tell you everything, which type of test is needed, which type of procedure is needed, right? If I add this categorical variable in this section itself, how this particular analysis will be done, right? If there is a repeated measures, means same phenomena has been measured multiple times, which is the third option, repeated measurement. So say for example, something is being measured before demonetization and something is measured after demonetization. So probably test, and these three things have been measured. Now you need to perform repeated measures ANOVA. If I remove one, so this is a paired data, you can perform paired sample t-test. If I include gender here, all variables should have the same measurement level. Okay. So if there are two different, yes.
One question. So since here we have actually given the title of all the data like tasty, nationality, gender. If we do not give this title to these numbers, still will it be able to differentiate what kind of data is it?
100%, because it is looking at the data, not the name of data.
Not the name of the. Acha, dusra thing, since first we actually changed the nominal data to continuous, if we do not do that, then will this give another?
Pardon, please. I think two people are speaking simultaneously.
Okay.
Speak one by one so that I'll be able to understand.
Yes, sir. I was asking that in the very beginning, we changed the type of data from ordinal to continuous. If we do not do that, still will it be giving us these options or different options?
There might be different option because this has to look at the type of data, not only the data categories. Which type of data you are using for, like for nominal data, there is a different classification. For scale data, there is a different test. Right. So if you consider this taste as a nominal data or maybe as an ordinal data, probably this will give you some different result. Right. So along with the gender, I am putting nationality here, and you have entered two related nominal variables. Hence, the marginal homogeneity test seems to be good option for you. The marginal homogeneity test currently not available in Jamovi. You could use the software to perform the analysis. Maybe R or SPSS could be used for performing this analysis, right? This is a very interpretive software. This is very intuitive software in that way. And why I'm calling it intuitive? Because this makes decision. The moment you change the data, say for example, somebody was asking taste. If I change this taste from nominal to continuous to nominal, now let us see what is happening here. And I will include one gender. The result is same, right? If I remove the gender from this point and I use taste fresh, the same error, the measurement level should be same, right? So this is very intuitive software, looks at the data category, looks at the data types, looks at several other things, and then decides which type of analysis will be suitable for the data which we have offered. So say for example, relationship prediction. So maybe taste is again a dependent variable, or maybe gender is a nominal variable is a dependent variable, and then taste or these data are independent variables. So probably two outcomes, binomial decision will be needed for this type of analysis. And one independent here and one independent there, probably linear regression will be needed for that. If you are having a gender as again, linear regression will be needed. For nationality also linear regression is needed. Let me see what will happen if I put gender here. Okay, what will happen if I remove, right? So there is one which is continuous variable on dependent side and one classificational variable as independent side. And you can see this is under t-test, you need to perform independent sample t-test, right? So this is very wisely is using your data. Very wisely, the software is using different measures, variables, and then telling you which type of analysis is needed. What is a control variable example? Very good question, Sudhakarji. Let me help you over there. So for example, I am teaching in two different classes, the research methodology, class A and class B. Still, there's the same teacher, the same teaching pedagogy, the same classroom, almost same classroom. They are nearby classrooms. Everything is will be the same. And still you will find there is a different marks. There is a different result from section A and from section B. Section A has scored higher than section B. So delivery of the teacher. Now somebody will claim, somebody may claim, looking at the result of section B. Okay, this teacher is not good enough because most of his students has got about 50% marks. So somebody can bring in the result of section A and can say this teacher is good enough. Most of his students are scoring about 80%, right? So what is the controlling variable here? Maybe intelligence of the student is controlling variable. Sometimes intelligence as a student is considered as mediating variable, but class A have been taught in a situation of music at the background, and class B has been taught in a situation of yoga lights and different situations. So these are the control situation, controlling your experiment. Those who belongs to sciences, they might be able to understand how one urea is effective in comparison to other urea. Probably there is rain by default. There is high rain by default, and probably you can predict something. This urea is highly effective, and then you may say, this is what something is happening. The vaccine of COVID also, right? There are people who are having their by self, they are physically very active. By self, they are having high immunity power, and putting them on vaccine, and you are saying you are calling like they are able to respond good results. So control variable is their physical activity. Control variable is their by default immunity systems, right? Sudhakarji, I hope you will be able to understand now what is control variable. Control variable, which is controlling the whole experiment. Right? So is there any doubt up to this point?
No, sir.
So I'll be using another tool, another application for this. Big 5. Okay, Big 5 will be okay. I'm sorry. JJ stat plot. Right, JJ stat plot is a bit higher version than the basic version of descriptives and scatter plots and everything. Yesterday, I think I had a discussion on survey plots. Anybody who can confirm? Yesterday, I had a discussion on survey plots or not?
Sir, if
Yes,
the
sir, we had a
JJ
discussion
plot
on
is
this.
equal to measure. Hello?
Pardon, please.
Sir, if the JJ plot is equivalent to measure,
JJ plot is equivalent to?
measure, M-A-J-O-R.
No, it is not equivalent to measure. JJ stat plot is used for graphical visualization of the data. Measure is used for meta-analysis.
Okay, but the symbol looks same.
Survey plots.
No, not on any point they are not same. Right. So
Extremely, sir, we do not have discussion on survey plots yesterday.
we do not have discussion on that.
Yeah.
No, sir, we have done. But we can repeat that.
Okay, let me do it very quickly. This will help everyone. So simply go to exploration, click on survey plots. There are not much options in survey plot. There is only one way. You can enter sepal length. You can also enter a species, or maybe species is a categorical variable, so it is better to direct a species here. And you can see there are 3 different density plots, violin plots, box plots. Everything is measured. And you can click on a stacked data bar. If there is no classification based on a species, and you want to remove violin, box, and data, and you want to simply make a plot based on a species, so probably you can make a decision on you want to make a plot on percentage, you want to make a plot on counts, missing values, you want to see these values on x-axis. These values or numbers or percentages will be reported on x-axis. So this is a way of making some impressive plots. That's it. JJ stat plot is a more powerful tool for graphics. We'll not be able to discuss the whole JJ stat plot, but I'll show you some. I'll show you some of the powerful utilization of this. So maybe box plot or not this. Yes, not this one. Big 5%. Okay, I'll do it on this. JJ stat plot, box plot, and violin plot. So I can drag and drop there, and species could be drag and drop in grouping variable. Now you can see this seems to be a bit scientific type of graph, and you will get the formula of how this graph has been created and everything, right? If I remove a species from here, even then, even if it is only single violin plot, you'll be able to see something which is very impressive. You want to impress your friend, and this is what you have manually created using Excel or manually created. You can see one additional 3 and 4 here. So you can see this additional 3 and 4 packages are also being used in JJ stat plot. This is a bit slower version because this needs a lots of computations there. You can also use a JJ stat plot layer, and now you'll be able to see a very complex diagram on that, right? This is a way how you can create some more powerful plot. JJ stat plot is very useful those who belongs to medical sciences, biological sciences, or these type of situations. Right? With the help of JJ stat plot, you can also create pie charts. Otherwise, there is no other plugin, there is no other library which can help you in creating pie charts. You need 2 classificational data for creating pie chart. So probably this will be helpful for me, JJ stat plot and pie chart. Gender is a dependent variable, nationality is a grouping variable probably. This is a bit slower version of this. Like you can see, yes, species, this has created these pie charts. Also a formula on that. Right? Nationality and gender, this will create pie chart. Till it is creating pie chart, I'll tell you one more very impressive and interesting thing. You can also create your R programming code looking at this data. So perform data on GUI based analysis, click on these 3 dots. And you want to see a developer's mode. This could be one way, or a screen capture tool. You'll be able to click a screen capture. Plot theme is okay. Number format and everything will be okay. This is a way how you can develop several other things. This is making these diagrams very complex way, whereas even I cannot read this formula because I do not belongs to the statistics background, right? So I think exploring with the JJ stat plot will help you. Mamtaji is asking, please explain grouping variables. Grouping variables is a classification variable which could be used for classifying the data. So same scale, you want to measure same scales for 2 different groups. So probably using the same scale for using the same measurement for males and females, using the same scale from different age groups, using the same scale for different organizations, this could be used, right? So I think, are we able to achieve today's target? Yes, we are able to achieve today's target. I think our target was up to normality plot, and we have went further to this. I'll share these slides with you, so don't worry with don't worry for the stuff, for the material. Everything will be shared with you. Any further question or anything? We are having 2 more minutes, and after that I'll be having a very important meeting.
Yes, sir, I do have one question. Sir, in
Yes, sir.
case when we calculate the normality,